Hello everybody. So we've been setting up some new stuff here, and my smelter has been giving me a little bit of an issues, but it's finally working. Seems to take a couple of loads and unloads. But I thought we'd do a little tool work today. We're going to need a lot of ice, and this is the valley. I have cleared it out of all the pines that were in here. I have already grown a single redwood tree. This one actually grew. I planted one over there, one about here, one down there, and another up there. This one grew within a day, almost instantly. And I decided I liked this one, but not necessarily the others, as I was lining them up in a grid so the bridges would be easier. But it just looked too much like they were in a grid. So yeah, just so some scouting of potential build locations, or builds, is we're going to need some sort of a dam right around here. So I'm thinking a nice curved dam between this pillar and that pillar, because the water level is going to be up to here. So this will be 80, will be the first dry level in the area. 79 will be the upper water. So we're going to have some pretty deep water in some areas, especially in around this area. But that's going to make this dam all the neater, just because it's going to have so much... Oh, another freaking Ars Magica. No, I'll get rid of that later. Another... So the dam is just going to be fairly neat. What we have over on this side is like a natural one. I might have to raise the dirt here a little bit. This is only 78. Or I might actually just use this as some sort of a water flow down into the river there. But over this way, on this side, we have a nice little plateau-y break. So this will all be dry up to here. The water will start on that level there. But this is going to be a huge undertaking. Not like what I did in the other meadows where it was only like 2 or 3 deep. Yes, it was just as wide of an area, but the depth of this one is going to make it hard. Water buckets just do not make sense. So we will be using ice. We did that little test up in the mountains, and the mountains are not cold enough to produce ice. When it rains, it actually still rains there instead of snows. So they will not produce ice. But luckily for us, to the north here, the mountains actually run into a true snowy, icy biome. So I'm going to work on an ice farm up here, but an ice farm requires... I mean, as long as you're manually harvesting it, it requires a sort of certain pick to get the job done, and that would be a silk touch pick. So some people pointed out in the comments that I really haven't gone into all the modifications and everything that you can get on the tools and such. Bam. Bam. So I figured we'd tackle that this episode, so you guys could see what I did to get these tools and, that I have here, the pan and the picks and such like that. But we'd focus on making a silk touch. Hello, creeper. But here's our ice biome. Man, it's dangerous at night. Comes out into a nice little lake right about here. So I would need to clear an area where I can make it so the water will freeze and such, or I could just do it on top of the water that already exists. We'll figure out how this goes. I'll probably look into some sort of automated ice factories. I believe you can push it with a piston, so it would seem like there should be some sort of a way. I don't know. I can't think of a way off the top of my head to actually gather the ice, just move it around. Anyways, so what we're going to do is the materials that I use for my tools, specifically I guess for a pig, are cobalt for the head, and paper for the binding, and Menelium for the handle. So what we got here is need for some metals. So the smeltery, of course, is temporary. I mean, until I get the area here filled with some water and some basic constructions and such down, everything's temporary. However, so we have a thing of cobalt there, a block of ardite, millennium chunk. Okay, we can use that for our handle. That'll work out just fine. But I guess we're going to need to ingotize that. So we'll need one for the head. The paper, all we need is a piece of paper, which is not in there. Huh. I'm fairly certain I did bring a stack of we'll need that, Silky jewel. But I swear I brought a stack of reeds. Did I just miss them the first time through? I have emptied stuff. Zombie meat, there's all the butterflies. A little stash of food. Huh. Well, that'll be. Alright, first thing we need to do is find some paper. I am, I'm gonna go off and hunt for that, and I will be right back. Alright, we are back. Got our sugar cane here. And crafting bench is over this way. So, 1, 2, 3. So that is all we need to make our Silk Touch pick. And the Silky Jewel, I'll just show you guys the recipe for this real quick. This was actually... and I hate that. R sorts my inventory as well as shows the recipes. So you start out with silky string, which is just a ring of string around either a aluminum brass nugget or a gold nugget, and because of the gold berries bushes, I have tons of these. So just needed 4 of these, and they turn into a silky jewel when put around an emerald. Fairly easy enough, but that's how you get Silk Touch in your picks. So what we are going to need first is a pattern table. Simply because I do not have one of these made yet. So let's get some sticks. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm pretty sure I will need that. And that is a part builder, so that's where we'll be putting the parts together. This and this is the stencil table. That'll make our stencils. And we'll need 3 of them. There's 2, there's 3. Well, technically 4, but... So, stencil table and part builder. So, for the stencils, we're going to go in here. We want a pickaxe head. Material cost 1, so it's going to take one of those. Or no, material cost is how much it takes in the other thing, which I will show you in a moment. We'll need the tool binding for the pick, and so far the pick is the only one that actually uses these. And last, oops, nope, not the knife blade. Tool rod pattern. There we go. So we want our handle to be made out of menelium, and the material cost is 0.5, so that is what a chunk is half of an ingot. So that gets us our very spiffy handle. We want the head of it to be made out of cobalt. Material cost is 1, so it takes the full ingot. Gets us the nice cobalt pickaxe head. Oops, let's get that out of the way. And the binding is a 0.5 as well. Normally, if you do... Okay. Normally you can stack the paper up. Let me see. Let's get just caps lock. You can get a paper stack. This is usually what you, if you're making something that requires a full material out of paper. Because paper, I'll show you what it does in a second here. But you would need to do the 4 in a circle here. But if you want just a half a piece, a single piece of paper will fit the bill. So don't waste the extra materials. Paper binding. And those are the 3 parts you need for a pick. So when we come to the tool station, go over to this mode. Got the head, got the binding, got the handle. This will give us a pickaxe with reinforced 2 and writable on it. So I'm just going to explain my reasoning for going with this particular setup instead of a fully Menelian setup here. Is the Cobalt has the fastest picking speed. Manny, I believe, is a 9 and not an 11, so it's actually lower here. But the Menelium Rod has the highest durability modifier of 2.5, so it gives our tools a very high durability. For the paper binding, we could use just about any material, but the majority of the ones that people use here are going to be getting it reinforced 3. An extra 10% is not worth our durability. Would be 200 points in this particular case. So if you're looking at it straight from the strength of the tool's perspective, you could put a diamond in here, or you could put an emerald in here, and increase the durability by either 500 or 1,000, respectively. So the paper binding giving you an extra modifier, that's what the writable effect is. That's writable is an extra modifier. Is infinitely better. And instead of 200, you're getting either 500 or 1,000. So it's either a 2.5 increase or a straight up 5 times the amount of durability. So one other thing to note, you can only name the tools when you're crafting them. So I'm actually going to call this Silky because that's going to be the basis for the tools. You'll notice that I didn't name any of the other ones. I always forget to do this step. So it's name it when you create it, and you'll get Silky writable with reinforced 2. Mink. That is awesome. On this same interface, this is where you add in the different properties and such like that to your pick. So we put Silky in there. We put in our modifying agent. It shows you what the new tool will look like. You do a little hover. It tells you you're getting Silky, which is Silk Touch, and it's keeping the name and adding it into it, but it's going to drain one of my modifiers. That's because this is a modifier. That's how it goes. So in order to do this crafting, you just pick it up from this side, and now you have the tool with the little extra enchantments on it. And we're going to go and put a couple of other things on here. So I just need to raid my chests. Looking for my miner's backpacks. There we go. And we'll take one of those. It might be spare. Yeah, there we go. Saw you in there. Spare diamond. Glowstone I don't think does anything. Ah, excuse me. Don't know why my throat's all like this evening. Alright, so we'll take some redstone. That's a very handy thing to have. And I guess just the redstone. Where happened to... There we go, blocks of redstone, we want that. And now the other thing we're looking for is mossy cobblestone. And I wonder if I left that back at the other place. I think I did. Well, we'll try mossy blocks. I'm pretty sure it's just the cobblestone though. Yep. Slight chance they're in here. So let me just... Cobble, cobble, gravel. Cobble, gravel, gravel. Alright guys, this is a very long trek. As you can see, it's about 4,000 or so away. So I will be right back once again. Hey guys, I am back, and I decided to come back in through the nether as it's a lot shorter, but I just wanted to show this off real quick. This is the completed nether farm, or blaze farm, but I've done all the extra redstone this time around. Let's see if we do F3. Got about 100. Yeah, about 100 blazes right there. And that would kill just about any weapon. But what we're going to do... Oh, so I hit reset? Yeah, okay. So, close and crush. Push everything. Yeah, look at that. It's perfectly timed. See how one of them got through there, though? But we should just be able to... Yes, yes. Let me use my looting so I can increase my blaze rods here. But otherwise, I'd just be using my hand. Let's see what the number says. 50. We're almost there. We're almost there. Actually, while we're doing this, I'm going to turn off the spawn. Oi. This is tiring work. Oh, and I didn't bring any food with me. But there's one other thing I wanted to show you guys real quick before we hop out of here. Just want to finish that off there. Reset. Let's let the other set of guys down. Crush them. Wait for the top to open up again. That's how we know the crushing is done. There we go. Wow, I had a lot of these guys here. Good enough. Okay, so the thing that I wanted to show you guys real quick is, this is something that Zarek pointed out to me the other day, is I'm going to be returning through the nether because it's a 4,000 block run or so, about 3,000 block run I guess, from here in the overworld to the new location. But if you have Ray's minimap and you go to your waypoints, when you're in the nether it'll automatically swap you to your nether waypoints. If you change over to the overworld, it will display the location of all the overworld points, but it's already done the calculation to divide it by 8. So home on this is only showing up as 500 away instead of 4,000 away. So I just thought that was a neat little thing to show you guys. So just gonna head on back. We got the mossy cobblestone, I got some obsidian and a lighter to make it quickly back, and I will talk to you guys in a moment when we get back to our other location. So guys, we made it through back into the overworld where it's raining, but it put the portal a little far away. So if we go into the nether here, we'll actually see that I'm not precisely where the coordinates match up. Waypoints. Overworld. Home is about 72, but it's mostly vertical. I just like this area. And 72, that's easily within range that we can remark the portal. So, that is what I'm going to do. We're just going to rip down this portal on this side, carry it back to our base. Yeah, free source of obsidian. Why not? So, once I'm done with this and we get back, I will continue forward with upgrading our pick and such. So, talk to you again in just a minute. Alrighty guys, so we made it back. This is where I decided to put the nether portal here. And there's one on the other side that matches it pretty closely, stuck up in a ceiling, so it all works out. But let's just put this stuff away and finish up with what we were doing. Let me see, empty chest. Just to make this quick. Put that there. Alright, so we needed the milestone, and now I need to kind of remember where I put everything else. This is not where I put the pick, but there are some of the materials we wanted. Got the redstone there. So if I were a kick-ass pick, that's where I'd be, right there. A little bit of a tool chest, I suppose. You can already tell I have to move my base or that portal a little bit because the sound's going to annoy me. Oy. It's hard to do any sort of building until we get this all flooded out, though. So we're back at the... Whoa. Nope, the table we originally brought with us. We're back at the tool station here. And what we're going to do with Silky is we're going to give it a diamond. Now this would actually add in more durability if you see in the top right. That's why I was saying to use the writable. But we're not actually interested in that. What we're going to do is add in another modifier slot, which is a diamond and a block of gold. You can also use a nether star, we just don't have those yet. So this will put our remaining modifiers back up to 4. So we'll take that back out. What we want to do is make this... Seriously? Isn't that... Ah, there we go. What we want to do is make it so... the tool is going to repair itself, and the ball of moss is what will do that. And actually there isn't much of a use for the mossy cobblestone except for that. So I call these green toupees or green mustaches. I actually like what they look like, but you know, that's just my little joke for them. And we're actually going to use 2 modifiers. I wonder if I can do that. Nope. We're actually going to use 2 modifiers to get both of them to be auto repair, which is what my other pick has. I use my picks more than just about anything, so having them repair twice as fast is a good thing. And also this isn't twice as fast, this is actually a bit faster than twice, which makes that a very good thing. The next thing we're going to do is I want it to be a little faster. The mining speed is 8? Wait a second, 8? That's not right. Mining speed of cobalt is supposed to be 11. Hold on a second. I think some data somewhere has changed. Which, you know, is always possible. I just was apparently not paying attention. Where did I put my smeltery books? Need the dark colored one, I believe. Alloys. Nope. I need the red one then? Materials and you. Materials, there we go. Cobalt. Mining speed says 11. That is very interesting. Mining speed of this is a 9. So I have haste on here. It's up to 15. That's right. Why is that down to an 8? I mean, I know I'm going to be speeding it up here. But let me, alright, well, we're just going to continue on. We're too far gone. So, going to use the blocks of redstone. This will add in 9 at a time, since that's how many pieces of redstone are actually in there. And we're just going to cap this out. You'll notice the mining speed going up every time we do this. And that was all we could get from there. So now you do this. This will add into 46. Take that off. We split these up. It'll be 48. And we end up with a nice 12. So this is a Silk Touch pick with 2 auto repairs, so it'll repair at a pretty good clip, and a speed boost. We still have 1 remaining modifier, and we actually have a secondary modifier when we get around to obtaining the nether stars for these things. But I'm still, that speed is really, really wrong. I have to try and figure out what caused that. But that's the basics of how you upgrade a tool. And if you take a look at this guy, he just has lapis for the fortune modifier. I can't believe that's up to 3. That is actually awesome. They will automatically, like the fortunes at least, and the lootings, will automatically increase just through use, it would seem. They have a chance, as long as they're over certain thresholds, to bump up to the next level. And it works out pretty well. I mean, looting 3 is pretty good. So, for the rest of my tools, these guys are just basically, they have redstone to speed them up and a moss to repair them a little bit. So auto repair and haste. And see, all of these are 15s. I will have to go back and see what I put on this guy that made him so slow. Well, alrighty guys, gonna wrap up this episode. Thank you for watching, as always. Let me know what you think in the comments, and feel free to stop by on the IRC channel. A lot of people have asked about the mod pack and stuff, and you can get the information and the versioning and stuff like that in that channel. There's almost always somebody around, but, you know, wait a second or so. We're not always paying attention. So say hey, and we'll usually respond fairly shortly. Talk to you guys later.